turn our attention right now out to the Twin Cities as the city of St. Paul providing an update on this cyber hack as they were, in fact, a ransomware attack, according to Mayor Melvin Carter. As officials say, the city must initiate a global password reset. They're calling it Operation Secure St. Paul. A live picture right now there in the Twin Cities, right there on the kind of eastern portion of Minnesota, as they're talking about the ransomware attack that hit the city late in July. Let's take you out to this live event on Live Now.
Removed from our servers. That was based on a number of things. That was based on the forensic investigation that our staff is conducting alongside the FBI and our cybersecurity experts. But it was also based on the communication with the threat actor. I've learned more than anybody really needs to know about this stuff. And one of the first things that I've learned, and you know, it reminds me of any kidnapping movie anybody has seen, where the first step is to provide what they call proof of life. Demonstrate that you have what you say you have. We asked them to demonstrate what they had, and they, instead of demonstrating what they had, decided to end the conversation, which was an indication to us that they may not have thought that they had much by way of value, much of value. That assessment is consistent, again, with the fact that instead of trying to go and sell the data that they had, they released it for free. Finally, based on the recommendations of our cybersecurity experts, the Minnesota National Guard, and the FBI, we received consensus recommendations from all parties involved not to pay a ransom.
Mr. Mayor, does the city have any cybersecurity insurance, number one, and number two? Are you confident that the systems are good? Like you wouldn't have to do any kind of rebuilds of the system at all or anything like that?
First question, the city self-insures for cybersecurity incidents. The second question is, as I said, you know, my job is to gain yellow belts in a whole range of things over time. And one of the things that I've learned over the past couple of weeks is that many of the systems, it's one of the reasons it took us a little bit, and we wanted to make sure we understood the level of severity before unplugging those systems and turning them completely off, because many of those aren't as simple as just sort of flipping a switch and bringing them back online. They require kind of reconstruction. That's one of the things that our Minnesota National Guard, and if the governor's listening, sorry, I keep calling you to say thank you for the Minnesota National Guard. They've been incredible and amazing every step along the way. But that's one of the things that our the men and women of the Minnesota National Guard have been busy helping us with. We are working, as I said before, to install enhanced cybersecurity software on literally every single device within the city's network. That has been an important step for us. One of the things that I'm hearing loud and clear from some of the experts that we're working with right now is that, particularly in the age of AI, that both the sophistication and the sheer volume of attacks that come at our systems all day, every day, take us beyond a day where our expectation would be that we'd build a wall that nobody could ever get through. The question is, how do you build systems that can recognize threats, recognize illicit activity quickly, as our systems did in this case? And how do you build protocols so that the people in place, people like Director Wascalis, who's here with me, people like our Chief Information Security Officer, Steph Horvath, people like the men and women who work in our city's cybersecurity teams, know what actions to take when that alarm goes off. They did those actions very well. So we're very proud of that work and very appreciative of their work to put us in the strong position that we're in. We'll continue. For example, 3 years ago, we didn't have a full-time Chief Information Security Officer. So we will continue to boost our cybersecurity protocols and our cybersecurity posture as a city. And we certainly will be unpacking this for any lessons that we've learned in the last couple of weeks as we do that. I will say that particularly as we consider a threat actor as sophisticated and as capable as the one that our teams have had to battle these past couple of weeks. When we look at the volume of data that we have compared to the volume of data that was released today, when we look at some of the releases that they have made in the past compared to the release that they did today, that there are signs to be found in this that our team operated very capably.
Is it fair to say then that some is being rebuilt, reconstructed? Is it fair to say it that way?
I think so.
Yeah. Maybe, how would you phrase it? If you're reconstructing, is it a rebuild? What is it exactly?
I would say, you know, after you take everything down, like Mayor said, you can't just turn it on right away. So what we have to do is we have to thoroughly investigate every single system, server, application. That's what is taking so long. Our cyber incident response team that we've hired is going through every single server, every single file. And then once they clear it, we take it, and then we're going to start testing it. So that's really what's taking so long. We have to make sure that the threat actor left no trace, right? And so that's what's really taking a long time, and that's very typical for these. Any cybersecurity expert will tell you when you take the whole system down, it's not like that. You got to take time. You have to be careful to make sure that your data and your system stay secure.
I'll add to that. Thank you. That was Director Jamie Oscalis, the Director of the Office of Technology and Communications for the city. I will add to that part of what's taking so long is the fact that, frankly, putting our network systems and applications that our employees rely on back online has not been our top priority through this. Our top priority through this has been ensuring that if you call 911, a police car is on the way, that a fire truck is on the way, that an ambulance is on the way. Our top priority has been ensuring that on a hot, sunny day, our pools remain open and that city services remain available to people. At times, that's been competitive. So, for example, I shared with you all at the beginning of this that the goal of keeping 911 services online and interrupted, we diverted resources away from getting networks back online as soon as possible to ensure that our 911 systems remained uninterrupted. There became a point in time where it became clear that the strongest threat to our 911 services, our emergency response services, wasn't a hacker somewhere else taking them down, but was if we failed to meet our payroll. Our payroll team, incredible payroll team, had 1 week to take systems that they're used to running on computers and pressing enter and having process and turn them into manual systems in 1 week, to turn them into manual systems and execute those systems. And they did that incredibly. They worked tirelessly day in and day out for that week to make sure that last Friday we were able to meet our promise to our employees and get payroll done for the 3,500, not just employees, but the 3,500 families that rely on our City of St. Paul payroll. On behalf of the 300,000 families that rely on those 3,500 city employees. So in that case, for example, getting payroll done became a higher priority for us than getting those network systems and getting those applications back online. So that's a part of what's taken so long as well.
Because in other cities, Atlanta, Baltimore, this is not a first, right? Ransomware guys, they have to do a rebuild quite often because ransomware guys circle back and try again. Mm-hmm. Is that part of the reason why you got to do the rebuild? Because they're known to try again once they've done it once?
Well, our goal is a lot of these cases, folks do circle back and try again, which is one of the reasons not just coming back sort of returning to normalcy wasn't the goal. The goal was to return to a much higher level. Those password resets, making sure those passwords are very secure, making sure that we're combing through every single device and boosting the cybersecurity software on every single device. I said that we caught this earlier. If we had the type of cybersecurity software now, then that would just 2-3 weeks ago that we now have on 90% of city devices, we'd have caught it even earlier. So boosting all of those things boosts significantly our cybersecurity posture and puts us in a much stronger state of readiness. And again, that's not a place even there that we can rest and sit still. We're going to have to continue to push that moving forward.
Is there any evidence that they did try to come back again?
Jay, is there anyone else in the room that would like to ask a question?
Is there evidence?
I don't have any evidence that they tried to come back again. This is an evolving circumstance and a very fluid situation. Did you have a question?
Yeah. Do you have a time estimate for how long it'll take to complete the work that remains?
Oh, great question. This is a. I think Director Wascalis grimaces a little bit every time I say it, but I think of this as a citywide Control-Alt reset or Control-Alt delete of our city systems, and so that, like I said, has included scouring through every system and every server, every application that we host. It's included addition of all of that cybersecurity software on all of the devices and the reset of all of those. The grand finale of this process is the reset of literally every single password for every single user on our systems. That is an incredible operation. Had our city staff spent 12 months planning that operation, I would have been impressed by that. Our city staff spent 4 days planning that operation, and it's just mind-blowing. That operation, once that is complete, that'll mark our ability to start bringing those systems back online. Again, some of those won't be a matter of just flipping a switch. They'll be a matter of kind of rebuilding them and getting them back online over time. We've spent the last couple of weeks getting from our departmental leaders those lists of the most critical applications. We expect to start rolling them back on by the end of this week.
Any other questions at all?
Thank you all for your time. We'll continue to keep you posted as this situation evolves.
All right, just listening in there to Melvin Carter, the mayor of St. Paul, Minnesota, talking about this, really a Control-Alt-Delete, a reset after this ransomware attack on the city just several months ago, as they explained the response to the hit the city took in July. The mayor said the city has not paid any ransom. There is no evidence that any data was taken. St. Paul city officials say they must initiate a global password reset for about 3,500 employees over the next several days. The process is called Operation Secure St. Paul for city leaders. All right, we're following that closely here on Live Now from Fox. I do want to take you